Hello, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're journeying back in time, deep into the heart of Greek mythology, to uncover a story that holds profound wisdom for our modern lives, especially for those of us navigating our senior years. We're talking about Chiron, the noble centaur. Now, when you think of centaurs, you might picture wild, boisterous creatures. But Chiron was different. He was the exception. While his brethren were known for their untamed nature, Chiron was celebrated for his immense wisdom, his gentle soul, and his extraordinary skill in the healing arts. He was a mentor to heroes, a teacher of medicine, philosophy, and music. Imagine this powerful being, half human, half horse, not defined by brute strength, but by his intellect and compassion. His story isn't just an ancient tale. It's a powerful mirror reflecting the journey of today's seniors. In a world that often rushes past, it's easy to feel that the immense value of life experience is overlooked. But just like Chiron, you carry a lifetime of accumulated knowledge, resilience, and unique wisdom. This isn't just history, it's a living library of insights. Chiron's story is particularly poignant because he was known as the wounded healer. Despite his mastery of medicine, he suffered from an incurable wound. This paradox is incredibly relevant. Many seniors live with chronic conditions or the aches and pains that come with a long, full life. It's easy to focus solely on the wound, on what hurts or what we can no longer do. But Chiron teaches us a different way. He didn't let his wound define him. Instead, he channeled his experience of suffering into a deeper empathy for others. He used his pain to fuel his purpose as a healer. This is a revolutionary idea for wellness in our later years. It's not about pretending the challenges don't exist. It's about acknowledging them and transforming that experience into strength, compassion, and a renewed sense of purpose. Your own experiences with life as hurdles have equipped you with a unique understanding that can be a source of comfort and guidance for others. So, how can we apply this ancient wisdom today? It starts with a shift in perspective. Let's reframe aging not as a decline, but as a Chiron phase of life. This is the time to embrace your role as a mentor, a storyteller, a healer in your own community. Think about the skills you've honed over decades. Maybe it's gardening, cooking, financial planning, or simply the art of listening. These are your healing arts. Sharing them doesn't just benefit others. It reaffirms your own value and purpose. Volunteering, mentoring a younger person, or even just sharing family stories can be incredibly powerful. It connects you to your community and combats the isolation that can sometimes creep in. It's about recognizing that your greatest strength isn't just what you can still do, but all that you have already been through. That resilience is a superpower. Physical wellness is, of course, a huge part of the picture. Chiron was a master of herbs and natural remedies. We can honor that by focusing on holistic health. This means nourishing our bodies with good food, staying active in ways that feel good, whether it's a gentle walk, yoga, or swimming, and paying attention to our mental and emotional well-being. Think of your wellness routine as a modern form of Chiron's alchemy. It's about finding the right combination of movement, nutrition, and rest that works for your unique body. It's also about seeking knowledge. Just as Chiron taught his students, we can be lifelong learners, staying curious about new health research, gentle exercises, or mindfulness techniques that can support our journey. Remember, holistic wellness is about balanced body, mind, and spirit. But perhaps the most important lesson from Chiron is about embracing our own stories, wounds, and all. He couldn't heal his own physical ailment, but he found a different kind of wholeness by dedicating his life to others. In the end, his story culminates in an ultimate act of self-sacrifice and transformation, where he gives up his immortality to free Prometheus and is placed among the stars as the constellation Centaurus. This beautiful ending reminds us that our legacy isn't defined by our physical limitations, but by the love, wisdom, and compassion we share with the world. Your life story, with all its triumphs and trials, is a constellation of its own, a source of light and guidance for those who follow. Every scar tells a story of survival. Every memory holds a lesson. Sharing these doesn't just keep your legacy alive, it helps others navigate their own paths. So, as we move through our senior years, let's remember Chiron. Let's not see ourselves as fading, but as wise elders, wounded healers, with an incredible capacity to teach, to nurture, and to guide. Let's find strength in our experiences and purpose in sharing our wisdom. Embrace your inner Chiron. Find your healing art and share it with the world. Whether you're mentoring a grandchild, volunteering at a local library, or simply offering a listening ear to a friend, you are continuing this ancient, noble tradition. You are a living legend, and your story is far from over. It's a journey of transformation, wisdom, and profound connection. Unlike the other centaurs, who were often wild and chaotic, Chiron was known for his immense wisdom, kindness, and skill. He was a master of medicine, music, and prophecy. He was also immortal, a gift from the gods. But one day, a tragic accident changed everything. During a battle, he was struck by a poisoned arrow. The poison was excruciating, but because he was immortal, he couldn't die. He was trapped in a state of eternal suffering, carrying a wound that would never heal. Now, imagine that for a moment. An eternity of pain. It's a situation that could easily lead to bitterness, despair, and isolation. But Chiron didn't let his wound define him in that way. He didn't retreat from the world. Instead, he did something remarkable. He transformed his pain into purpose. He took his own suffering and used it to develop a profound empathy for the suffering of others. He became the greatest teacher and healer of his time. Think about the legendary heroes he mentored. Achilles the mighty warrior, Asclepius, who would become the god of medicine, Jason, the leader of the Argonauts. Chiron taught them not just how to fight or how to mix herbs, but how to live with courage, compassion, and resilience. His personal pain didn't diminish his ability to help others. It deepened Italiano. He understood what it meant to hurt, and this understanding made him an unparalleled guide. This is the essence of the wounded healer archetype. It's the idea that our greatest strengths can often emerge from our deepest vulnerabilities. Our own struggles can become the very source of our wisdom and compassion for others. So, what does this ancient myth have to do with us today, especially as we navigate our senior years? Everything. Everything. As we age, many of us encounter our own versions of Chiron's wound. It might be a chronic illness like arthritis or diabetes, the loss of a loved one, or the feeling of our bodies changing in ways we can't control. Desearete, incurable wounds of modern life. They are a part of our journey, and like Chiron, we have a choice in how we respond. We can let these challenges make us feel isolated and diminished, or we can embrace the path of the wounded healer. Many of you are already doing this without even realizing it. Think about it. Who are the pillars of our families and communities? It's often the elders. The grandmother who, despite her aching joints, never misses her grandchild's school play. The grandfather who, after a lifetime of hard work, now patiently teaches his neighbor how to garden. The retired professional who volunteers their time, sharing decades of experience with a younger generation. These are the modern-day Chirons. They carry their own pains, their own limitations, but they refuse to be defined by them. Instead, they continue to nurture, to teach, and to heal the world around them in countless small and significant ways. Their lived experience, their scars, have given them a unique perspective and a deep well of empathy. They understand struggle, so they are better equipped to offer comfort. They've faced loss, so they know how to support someone who is grieving. This is the hidden superpower of aging. It's the wisdom that's forged in the fire of experience. The myth of Chiron teaches us that our wounds do and have to be a source of shame or a reason to withdraw. They can be a gateway to a deeper connection with others and a more profound sense of purpose. When we accept our own vulnerabilities, we create a safe space for others to be vulnerable too. We become a source of comfort not because we're perfect, but precisely because we're not. So, how can we actively cultivate this Chiron energy in our own lives? First, by practicing self-compassion. Acknowledge your own pain, physical or emotional, without judgment. Treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend. Remember, even the great healer, Chiron, couldn't heal himself. It's okay to have limitations. It's okay to not be okay all the time. Second, reframe your narrative. Instead of thinking, I'm limited by this condition, try thinking, What has this experience taught me? Perhaps your journey with a chronic illness has given you incredible patience or a deeper appreciation for the small joys of a good day. Maybe your experiences have made you a more empathetic listener. Your story isn't just about the wound, it's about the strength you've built around it. Third, share your wisdom. You don't have to be a legendary hero's mentor to make a difference. Your wisdom is valuable. Share your stories, your skills, your life lessons with your family, friends, and community. Whether you're teaching a grandchild how to bake, sharing your career knowledge, or simply offering a listening ear, you are continuing the legacy of Chiron. You are turning your personal experience into a gift for others. Ultimately, the myth of Chiron reminds us that wellness in our senior years isn't about being free from pain or challenges. It's about how we integrate those challenges into our lives. It's about recognizing that our scars tell a story of resilience, and that our wisdom, honed by a lifetime of experience, is a powerful healing force in the world. Have you ever heard of Chiron, the wise centaur from Greek mythology? Unlike the other wild centaurs, Chiron was a master of medicine, music, and prophecy. He was a legendary teacher, mentoring heroes like Achilles and Hercules. But what does this ancient figure have to do with us today? Especially with how we think about aging. Stick around, because we're about to uncover some ancient wisdom that can completely transform our approach to senior wellness. In our modern world, we often see aging through a narrow lens at time of physical decline and managing health issues. We focus so much on the what is wrong that we forget to see the what is right. We talk about blood pressure, medications, and mobility aids. And while those things are important, they're only one part of a much bigger, richer picture. This limited view can make seniors feel like they are burdens, defined only by their health challenges. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? What if growing older isn't just about surviving, but about thriving in a new, powerful role? This is where the myth of Chiron comes in. Chiron wasn't just known for his skills. He was revered for his wisdom. He was the ultimate mentor, the keeper of knowledge, the guide who shaped the next generation of heroes. Now, think about the seniors in our lives. They've navigated decades of change, celebrated countless joys, and overcome incredible challenges. They have lived through history, not just read about it in books. This lived experience creates a deep reservoir of wisdom, just like Chiron's. When we shift our perspective, we begin to see that modern senior health isn't just about managing illness. It's about reclaiming the powerful and essential role of the elder as a guide and mentor. It's about recognizing that seniors are not just patients. They are our modern-day Chirons. They are the living libraries of our families and communities. Think about the stories your grandparents or older relatives have told you, the tales of their youth, the lessons they learned from their mistakes, the traditions they've passed down. These aren't just quaint anecdotes. These are invaluable lessons in resilience, love, and life itself. When a senior shares a story, they are doing more than just reminiscing. They are building a bridge between the past and the future. They become the living connection that holds generations together. This role is incredibly empowering. It gives a profound sense of purpose that goes far beyond a daily pill regimen. When seniors feel valued for their wisdom, not just cared for because of their fragility, it transforms their mental and emotional well-being. Purpose is a powerful medicine. It ignites a spark, encourages engagement, and fosters a sense of belonging that is crucial for a happy, healthy life at any age. So, how do we put this ancient wisdom into practice? For seniors, it starts with recognizing the value of your own story. Your life is a masterpiece full of lessons. Don't be afraid to share it. You can start small. Tell your grandchildren about what life was like when you were their age. Share a family recipe and the story behind it. Teach a skill you've mastered, whether it's gardening, knitting, woodworking, or even just how to write a proper letter. Your knowledge is a gift, and for the younger generations, our role is to listen. Actively seek out these stories. Ask questions. Be curious. Put down your phone and give your full attention when an elder speaks. Record their stories. Write them down. Create a family history project. Bethink this. You're not just honoring them. You're preserving a legacy that will enrich your life and the lives of those who come after you. You are helping them fulfill their role as the Chiron of your family. Let's imagine our communities embracing this idea. Picture intergenerational programs where seniors mentor young people, sharing life skills and professional experience. Imagine storytelling circles in community centers where personal histories are shared and celebrated. When we create spaces for this kind of connection, we build stronger, more resilient communities. We combat loneliness and isolation, which are significant health risks for seniors. And we give younger people a sense of roots and perspective that is often missing in our fast-paced world. The myth of Chiron teaches us that true wellness is holistic. It's about mind, body, and spirit. For seniors, stepping into the role of a mentor nourishes the spirit. It reaffirms their identity and worth. It reminds them on us that age doesn't diminish value. It refines it. Just as Chiron guided heroes to their destiny, our elders can guide us toward a more compassionate and connected future. So, let's change the conversation around aging. Let's move beyond a narrative of decline and embrace one of wisdom, purpose, and mentorship. Let's celebrate our seniors as the Chirons. They are the wise, invaluable teachers who hold the keys to our collective past and future. Their greatest strength isn't just in what they've endured, but in the incredible wisdom they have to share. So, who was Chiron? In Greek mythology, most centaurs were depicted as wild, unruly creatures. But Chiron was different. He was a master of medicine, music, archery, and prophecy. He was a mentor to heroes like Achilles and Heracles, known for his gentle nature, profound wisdom, and incredible skill as a healer. What makes his story so compelling for us today is that Chiron, despite being an immortal healer, suffered from an incurable wound. This paradox, wounded healer, offers a powerful metaphor for the aging process. We all gather our own wounds over time, whether physical or emotional. But like Chiron, we can still live lives of purpose, wisdom, and service. His story isn't just an old tale. It's a blueprint for resilience and graceful aging. Let's start with the most tangible aspect: physical wellness. How can an ancient centaur inspire our health routines today? Well, Chiron was a master of discipline and holistic health. His practices weren't about chasing eternal youth, but about maintaining vitality and balance. He was an expert in herbal medicine. He understood the importance of physical conditioning through activities like archery, and he practiced a form of mindfulness long before it became a wellness trend. These ancient tools are just as vital for seniors today. Think about it. Chiron's mastery of herbal medicine is a beautiful reminder of the power of nutrition. We don't need to forage for magical herbs, but we can focus on a balanced diet rich in anti-inflammatory foods, antioxidants, and nutrients that support bone density and muscle mass. Eating a rainbow of fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats is our modern-day equivalent of Chiron's healing potions. It's about nourishing the body from the inside out, giving it the fuel it needs to stay strong and resilient against the challenges of time. Then there's the physical discipline. Chiron taught heroes to be strong and agile. For seniors, this doesn't mean training for the Olympics. It means embracing gentle, consistent movement. Activities like Tai Chi, wheat eats, slow deliberate motions are fantastic for improving balance and reducing the risk of falls. A daily walk in nature connects us to the world, clears the mind, and keeps our cardiovascular system healthy. Water aerobics offers a wonderful, low-impact way to maintain muscle tone and flexibility without straining the joints. The key takeaway from Chiron isn't about intensity. It's about consistency. It's about honoring your body with regular movement, adapting your practice to what feels good and sustainable for you. Just like Chiron, we can find strength and grace in disciplined, gentle motion. And what about Chiron's wisdom? This points directly to the practice of mindfulness and meditation. Imagine Chiron in his cave on Mount Pelion, calmly observing the world, deeply connected to the present moment. This is the essence of mindfulness. For seniors, this practice can be as we age. It's easy to get caught up in worries about the future or regrets about the past. Mindfulness pulls us back to the here and now. It can be as simple as spending a few minutes each day focusing on your breath, savoring your morning cup of tea without distraction, or truly listening to the birds outside your window. These small moments of presence reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and improve mental clarity. They help us appreciate the beauty of our daily lives and maintain a sense of inner peace. Even when faced with physical discomfort or life's uncertainties, Chiron's discipline wasn't just physical, it was mental, and that's a lesson we can all benefit from. Now, let's move beyond the physical and explore the emotional and social wisdom of the Chiron myth. One of the most challenging aspects of aging can be a sense of isolation or a loss of purpose. After retirement, the social structures of work disappear. Children grow up and move away. Friends may pass on. This is where Chiron's role as a mentor and teacher becomes incredibly inspiring. He didn't hoard his knowledge, he shared it. He found immense purpose in guiding the next generation of heroes. For seniors, this is a powerful call to action. You are a treasure trove of life experience, skills, and stories. Your wisdom is a resource that is desperately needed in our society. Think about becoming a mentor yourself. You could volunteer at a local school, a community center, or join a program that pairs seniors with young people. You could teach a skill you've honed over a lifetime, whether it's gardening, woodworking, cooking, or playing a musical instrument. Sharing your knowledge not only enriches the lives of others, but also gives you a profound sense of purpose and connection. It combats loneliness by building new, meaningful relationships across generations. Like Chiron, you can become a guiding light, leaving a legacy of wisdom and kindness. This social engagement is as crucial for wellness as any diet or exercise plan. It keeps the mind sharp, the spirit engaged, and the heart full. Finally, let's talk about the most profound part of Chiron's story. His incurable wound. An accident left him in constant pain, a pain that his own healing arts could not fix. This is the wounded healer archetype. It is a powerful metaphor for accepting the parts of ourselves and our lives that we cannot change. Aging brings with it inevitable challenges. We may experience chronic pain, the loss of certain abilities, or the grief of losing loved ones. These are our incurable wounds. Chiron's story teaches us that our worth is not defined by our perfection or our invulnerability. His suffering did not diminish his wisdom or his capacity for compassion. It deepened Italiano. It made him more empathetic to the suffering of others. This is a transformative perspective for seniors. Instead of fighting against or being defined by our limitations, we can learn to live with them gracefully. This isn't about giving up. It's about radical acceptance. It's about finding strength in vulnerability. When you accept your wounds, you open yourself up to a deeper form of self-compassion. You learn to be kind to yourself on days when your body aches or your energy is low. You learn to ask for help when you need it, which is a sign of strength, not weakness. Furthermore, your own experiences with life as challenges can make you a source of incredible comfort and wisdom for others who are struggling. You can listen with a truly empathetic ear because you understand. Like Chiron, your greatest wisdom might just spring from your greatest wound. By embracing this aspect of his myth, we can transform our personal struggles into sources of strength, empathy, and connection, finding a deeper meaning in our journey. So, as we bring our exploration to a close, what can we take away from the ancient myth of Chiron? We learn that senior wellness is a holistic tapestry woven from physical discipline, emotional connection, and spiritual acceptance. From Chiron, we learn to honor our bodies with gentle movement and nourishing food. We learn the importance of staying mentally sharp and socially engaged by sharing our lifetime of wisdom as mentors and teachers. And most importantly, from his incurable wound, we learn to embrace our imperfections with grace and compassion, finding strength and purpose not in spite of our challenges, but because of them. The story of Chiron reminds us that aging is not a decline, but an ascent to a different kind of power. Power of wisdom, resilience, and deep, heartfelt connection. It is a journey of becoming the wise elder in our own lives and in our communities. For those unfamiliar, Chiron wasn't like the other centaurs. While they were known for being wild and unruly, Chiron was a celebrated healer, a teacher, and a mentor to heroes like Achilles and Heracles. He was immortal, wise, and kind. But his story takes a tragic turn. He was accidentally struck by a poisoned arrow, causing an incurable wound. Despite his immense healing powers, he couldn't heal himself. He was forced to live with eternal, excruciating pain. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds terribly grim. What does this have to do with senior wellness? And that's the beautiful paradox of Chiron's myth. It's not about the wound itself, but about what he did with it. His suffering didn't break him, it transformed him. This is where we find our first powerful lesson. Embracing our vulnerabilities. As we age, our bodies change. We might face chronic pain, reduced mobility, or health challenges that, much like Chiron's wound, are a constant presence. It's easy to feel defined by these limitations, to see them only as a source of frustration. But Chiron's story invites us to shift our perspective. He couldn't erase his pain, so he integrated it. He continued to teach, to heal others, and to share his wisdom. His wound deepened his empathy and understanding of suffering, making him an even greater healer for others. For seniors, this means acknowledging our physical challenges without letting them consume our identity. Perhaps a bad knee prevents you from hiking, but it might open up time for you to finally learn to paint, to join a book club, or to mentor a young person in your neighborhood. We can find strength not in denying our wounds, but in accepting them and discovering what else we are capable of, not in spite of them, but perhaps because of them. This acceptance is the first step toward a richer, more meaningful life. Now let's delve deeper into the heart of Chiron's transformation, which leads us to our second, and perhaps most crucial, insight. Finding purpose through service. Trapped in his own suffering, Chiron didn't retreat into isolation. Instead, he turned outward. He dedicated his immortal life to easing the pain of others. He found meaning not in a cure, but in compassion. His purpose became his salvation. This is where the myth of Chiron resonates so powerfully with modern senior wellness, especially when it comes to mental health. The golden years can sometimes bring unexpected challenges like loneliness or a sense of lost purpose, especially after retirement or when children have grown and moved away. The structure of daily work is gone, and it can be easy to feel adrift. This is where Chiron's tale offers a brilliant roadmap. He endured immense suffering, yet he found meaning and solace by dedicating himself to service. This isn't just an ancient idea. Modern science backs it up. Studies consistently show that seniors who engage in their communities, whether through formal volunteer work, helping neighbors, or joining social clubs, report significantly higher levels of happiness and emotional resilience. Think about it. Joining a local gardening club doesn't just get you fresh air and beautiful flowers. It connects you with people who share your passion. Volunteering at an animal shelter or a library isn't just about giving your time. It's about contributing to something larger than yourself, feeling needed, and seeing the direct impact of your efforts. Tutoring a child, sharing your professional skills with a small business, or even organizing a weekly card game in your community. These acts create vital social connections and reinforce a sense of value and identity. Purpose is a powerful antidote to isolation. When you have a reason to get up in the morning, a commitment to others, your own troubles often seem to shrink in comparison. You're not just a retiree, you're a mentor, a community builder, a helper, a creator. This echoes Chiron's journey perfectly. His identity wasn't the wounded centaur, it was the great teacher and healer. By serving others, he transcended his pain. We too can find that same transcendence by looking for ways, big or small, to contribute our unique wisdom and experience to the world around us. Beyond community service, there's another avenue where Chiron's spirit shines brightly. Creative expression. Remember, Chiron was a master of many arts, not just healing. He taught music and poetry. This highlights the importance of creativity in processing our experiences and finding joy. For seniors, engaging in creative expression can be a profoundly therapeutic and fulfilling activity. It's a way to tell your story, to process emotions, and to create something beautiful out of your life experiences, including the painful ones. You don't have to be a professional artist. It could be journaling your memories, painting with watercolors, learning to play the ukulele, joining a community choir, or taking up photography. Each of these activities is a form of self-expression that connects you to your inner world and, often, to others. A choir isn't just about singing. It's about harmonizing with other voices, creating something together that no single person could create alone. A writing group isn't just about putting words on a page. It's about sharing stories and discovering common threads in your human experience. This process mirrors Chiron's journey. His pain gave him a deeper well of emotion and empathy to draw from, likely making his art and teachings even more profound. Similarly, our life experiences, with all their joys and sorrows, give us a unique voice. Creative expression allows us to give that voice form. It's a way of saying, I am here. This is what I've seen. This is what I feel. It's an act of affirmation that builds self-esteem and provides a powerful sense of accomplishment, fighting off feelings of invisibility that can sometimes creep in. So, pick up that paintbrush, that pen, or that instrument. Let your unique story unfold. Ultimately, the myth of Chiron culminates in a final, profound choice. After eons of suffering, he was given an opportunity. The hero Prometheus was being punished, chained to a rock for eternity. The only way for Prometheus to be freed was for an immortal to willingly give up their immortality and take his place in the underworld. Chiron, the wounded healer, made that ultimate sacrifice. He chose to lay down his immortal, pain-filled life to free another. In doing so, he was finally released from his suffering. Zeus, moved by his sacrifice, placed him in the stars as the constellation Centaurus, immortalizing his legacy of wisdom and compassion. What does this final act teach us? It teaches us about legacy and the power of letting go. Chiron's story wasn't just about enduring pain. It was about transforming it into a gift for the world. His ultimate purpose was fulfilled in his final act of selfless service. For us, this doesn't mean we need to make some grand, dramatic sacrifice. It's about how we choose to live out our final chapters. It's about shifting our focus from what we've lost to what we can give. Our legacy isn't just the money or property we leave behind. It's the wisdom we've shared, the kindness we've shown, and the love we've given. It's the stories we've told our grandchildren, the garden we tended that continues to bloom, the student we mentored who found their path. Chiron's choice to let go of his pain to mortality shows us the grace and acceptance and the freedom in looking beyond ourselves. By focusing on our contribution, on our connections, and on the mark we leave on the hearts of others, we find a different kind of immortality, one that lives on in the community we helped build and the lives we touched. So, the next time you feel the ache of a chronic condition or a pang of loneliness, remember Chiron. Remember the wounded healer who turned his pain into purpose, his suffering into service, and his vulnerability into wisdom. Embrace your journey, share your unique gifts, and find your own constellation to shine in. Chiron was known as the wounded healer. He suffered a wound that could never be fully cured, yet he dedicated his life to teaching and healing others. He mentored heroes like Achilles and Hercules, sharing his vast knowledge and compassion. This myth holds a powerful lesson, especially for those of us in our golden years. It suggests that even with our own aches, pains, or past hurts, we can find profound meaning and joy by serving others. Think about it. When we engage with our community, whether it's through volunteering, sharing a skill, or simply being a good neighbor, we're stepping into Chiron's shoes. Seniors who participate in community activities often report a huge boost in their sense of purpose and happiness. It's not about forgetting our own struggles, but about finding a reason to look beyond them. You might volunteer at a local library, a food bank, or an animal shelter. Even something as simple as helping a neighbor with their garden can create a powerful ripple effect of positivity, both for them and for you. This act of giving back is a cornerstone of what psychologists call generativity, the desire to nurture and guide the next generation. It's a natural and healthy part of aging. When you share your life experiences, your wisdom, and your skills, you're not just helping others. You're reaffirming your own value and leaving a lasting legacy. It's a beautiful cycle. You give, you receive, and the entire community becomes stronger. So, ask yourself, what knowledge or passion can you share? The world is waiting to learn from you. Now, let's talk about another crucial element from Chiron's life: creativity. He wasn't just a healer. He was a master of music, arts, and science. This tells us that expressing ourselves is a vital part of a fulfilling life. For seniors, engaging in creative expression is like opening a window in a stuffy room. It lets in fresh air, new ideas, and a whole lot of joy. You don't have to be a professional artist to be creative. It can be as simple as picking up a paintbrush for the first time, joining a community choir, writing down your life story, or taking up photography. These activities do more than just pass the time. They engage our brains, improve our dexterity, and give us a tangible sense of accomplishment. When you create something, you're bringing a piece of your inner world into existence. It's a powerful way to process emotions, celebrate memories, and connect with the world in a new way. Plus, it's just plain fun. The myth of Chiron also highlights the immense power of social connection. Chiron was never a hermit. He was constantly surrounded by his students and peers. He taught, he listened, and he loved. This is a vital lesson for all of us, especially as we get older. Seniors who are surrounded by supportive relationships are not only happier, but also healthier. Connection is a powerful antidote to loneliness and depression. Think about the people in your life. Are you making time for them? This could mean regular calls with family, coffee dates with friends, or joining a local senior group. These groups are fantastic because you get to meet people who are in a similar stage of life. You can share stories, laugh together, and support each other through life's ups and downs. Human beings are social creatures. We are wired for connection. When we isolate ourselves, we're going against our very nature. So, reach out. Make that call. Ahoy that klub. Your mental health will thank you for it. Let's tie this all back to Chiron's wound. The myth has a poignant ending. Chiron ultimately chose to give up his immortality to free Prometheus, an act of supreme self-sacrifice and compassion. In doing so, he found his final peace. This teaches us that acceptance is a key part of the healing journey. We all have wounds, whether they're physical or emotional. Some of them may never fully go away, but, like Chiron, we can choose how we respond to them. We can choose to let our pain define us, or we can choose to find meaning in spite of it. By serving others, by creating, and by connecting, we are not denying our pain. We are integrating it into a larger, more beautiful story. We are becoming our own version of the wounded healer. It's about finding strength and vulnerability and wisdom and experience. This perspective shift is incredibly empowering. It turns our life stories from tales of suffering into epics of resilience and purpose. So, the takeaway from this ancient story is incredibly relevant today. To nurture your mental health, especially in your senior years, look to the 3 pillars inspired by Chiron: service, creativity, and connection. Find a way to give back to your community. Pick up a creative hobby that brings you joy, and intentionally nurture your relationships with family and friends. These aren't just nice ideas. They are actionable steps you can take to build a more joyful, meaningful, and resilient life. It's never too late to start. Your journey is your own, and every small step you take towards connection and purpose is a victory. You have a wealth of wisdom and a lifetime of experience to share. Don't ever forget that. So, who was Chiron? Unlike other centaurs, who were wild and unruly, Chiron was a master of medicine, music, and prophecy. He was the ultimate mentor, teaching legendary heroes like Achilles and Heracles. But his life took a tragic turn when he was accidentally wounded by a poisoned arrow. Being immortal, he couldn't die, but the poison caused him unending, unbearable pain. This is where his story truly begins to resonate with the experience of aging. Many seniors live with chronic conditions or pain that can feel relentless. It's easy to feel defined by these physical limitations. Chiron's story validates this struggle. He, too, lived with a wound that would not heal. But this is the crucial part: he didn't let his pain consume him. Instead, he transformed his suffering into a source of profound empathy and wisdom. This brings us to our first key lesson for senior wellness: embracing the role of the wounded healer. Because he understood pain so intimately, Chiron became an even more compassionate teacher and healer for others. Seniors, with their lifetimes of experience, including overcoming hardships, navigating loss, and managing health challenges, possess a unique form of wisdom. You're scarced. Sharing this wisdom, whether with family, friends, or your community, can be incredibly empowering. It transforms personal struggles into a legacy of guidance and support. Think about it. Who better to offer comfort and advice than someone who has truly walked the path? This act of mentorship and sharing is a cornerstone of what we now call generativity. the desire to nurture and guide the next generation. It's a fundamental human need that becomes especially important in our senior years. Engaging in activities like volunteering, mentoring a young person, or simply sharing family stories keeps the mind sharp and the spirit fulfilled. It combats feelings of isolation and reinforces a sense of purpose. Just as Chiron found meaning in teaching his heroic students, seniors can find immense joy and validation in passing on their knowledge. It's a beautiful cycle where your experience becomes a beacon for others. Now, let's talk about the physical aspect. Chiron was a master healer, knowledgeable about herbs and medicine. This reminds us of the importance of proactive health management. For seniors, this means more than just visiting the doctor. It's about becoming an active participant in your own wellness journey. It's about learning what foods nourish your body, finding physical activities you enjoy, whether it's gentle yoga, walking in nature, or dancing, and staying mentally engaged with puzzles, reading, or learning a new skill. Chiron didn't just have knowledge. Applied Italiano. Similarly, we must take the wisdom available to us about healthy aging and actively apply it to our daily lives. This sense of control and self-care is vital for both physical health and mental well-being. But physical and mental wellness are only part of the picture. Chiron's story also speaks volumes about spiritual wellness. His journey is ultimately one of transcendence. He couldn't heal his own physical wound, but he rose above his pain to serve a greater good. For seniors, exploring spirituality, whether through organized religion, a connection with nature, quiet meditation, or personal reflection, can be a powerful source of peace. It helps in finding acceptance, making sense of life's journey, and connecting with something larger than oneself. This spiritual dimension provides a deep well of resilience, helping to navigate the inevitable changes that come with age, not with fear, but with grace and a sense of continuity. Finally, Chiron's story concludes with an act of ultimate compassion and release. To end his suffering, he chose to give up his immortality to free Prometheus, who was being punished for giving fire to humanity. In this ultimate sacrifice, Chiron found his final peace and was honored by being placed in the stars as the constellations. This ending teaches us about acceptance and letting go. Aging involves letting go of many things, perhaps a career, certain physical abilities, or the roles we once played. But like Chiron, this act of release doesn't have to be a loss. It can be a conscious choice to embrace a new phase of life, one defined not by what we do, but by who we are. It's about finding peace in the present moment and celebrating the legacy we've built. So, the myth of Chiron isn't just an old story. It's a roadmap for a fulfilling senior life. It teaches us to transform our wounds into wisdom, to mentor and guide others, to actively care for our bodies and minds, to seek spiritual peace, and to embrace the art of letting go. By embodying the spirit of the wounded healer, we can all navigate our later years with purpose, dignity, and grace. So, who was Chiron? In Greek mythology, most centaurs were known for being wild and chaotic. But Chiron was different. He was a master of medicine, music, and prophecy. He was a legendary teacher who mentored some of Greece's greatest heroes, like Achilles and Heracles. What made him truly special was his profound empathy and wisdom. But Chiron's story is also one of tragedy. He suffered a wound from a poisoned arrow, an injury that, despite his incredible healing skills, he could never cure in himself. This eternal wound made him the wounded healer. He spent his life healing others while living with his own incurable pain. This archetype of the wounded healer is incredibly powerful. It speaks to the idea that our own vulnerabilities, our own experiences with hardship, can become our greatest source of strength and empathy for others. Think about it. Who better to understand suffering than someone who has suffered themselves? Chiron's pain didn't make him bitter. It made him compassionate. It deepened his understanding of life, death, and healing. So, what does this ancient myth have to do with senior wellness today? A whole lot, actually. As we or our loved ones age, we inevitably face challenges, physical ailments, the loss of friends, and changes in our independence. These are, in a sense, our own wounds. The story of Chiron teaches us that these experiences do and have to define us in a negative way. Instead, they can be a source of profound wisdom and resilience. For seniors, embracing the Chiron archetype means recognizing the incredible value of your life experience. Your journey, with all its triumphs and trials, has given you a unique perspective. You've navigated challenges that younger generations haven't even imagined. This isn't just a collection of memories, it's a deep well of wisdom. Sharing your stories, your resilience, and your insights isn't just reminiscing, it's mentoring. It's a way of healing and guiding the community around you. You become the wise elder, the Chiron of your family or neighborhood. Let's think about this in a practical sense. Maybe you've managed a chronic condition for years. Your knowledge about daily management, your emotional resilience, that's invaluable information you can share with someone newly diagnosed. Perhaps you've experienced loss and navigated the complex journey of grief. Your empathy and understanding can be a lifeline for someone else going through a similar experience. By sharing, you transform your personal wound into a source of collective healing. This sense of purpose is incredibly powerful for mental and emotional well-being. It combats loneliness and reminds us that we are still vital, contributing members of society. Now, let's flip the coin and look at this from the perspective of caregivers and healthcare providers. The myth of Chiron offers a revolutionary way to think about providing care. Modern medicine can sometimes be very clinical, focused on symptoms, charts, and prescriptions. It's efficient, but it can lack a human touch. Chiron teaches us that true healing goes beyond the physical. It's about presence, empathy, and connection. For doctors, nurses, and family members caring for seniors, this means learning to listen, really listen. It means seeing the person, not just the patient. What is their story? What are their fears? Their hopes? What wisdom do they hold? When a healthcare provider takes the time to sit down, make eye contact, and honor the life story of an older adult, the entire dynamic changes. The sterile clinic room becomes a space of shared humanity. This simple act of respect can be more healing than any medication. It validates a person's life and acknowledges their dignity. It's the difference between treating a disease and healing a person. This is Chiron's empathy in action. It's about recognizing that we are all, in some way, wounded, and that our shared vulnerability is what connects us. So, how can we integrate this wisdom into our lives? If you're an older adult, I encourage you to see your life experiences as a source of strength. Find ways to share your stories. Mentor someone. Join a community group. Volunteer. Your wisdom is a gift. Don't underestimate its power. You are the modern-day Chiron, the wounded healer who guides the next generation. And for those of us who care for seniors, let's challenge ourselves to embody Chiron's spirit. Let's practice deep listening. Let's ask about their past, their passions, their stories. Let's treat them with the reverence they deserve, not as problems to be managed, but as wise elders to be honored. Let's remember that sometimes the most profound act of healing is simply being present, offering a compassionate ear, and acknowledging the incredible journey a person has walked. The myth of Chiron reminds us that aging isn't just a process of decline. It's a journey toward wisdom. Our wounds don't have to be a source of shame. They can be our greatest teachers, fostering empathy and connection. By embracing this ancient wisdom, we can create a culture that honors our elders, values their contributions, and approaches senior wellness with the compassion and dignity that everyone deserves. It's a shift from just extending lifespan to truly enriching life itself. Chiron's most defining feature was his own unhealable wound. He was accidentally struck by a poisoned arrow, and despite being the greatest healer in the world, he couldn't cure himself. He was immortal, so he couldn't find release in death either. He was destined to live with eternal pain. Imagine that for a moment. The master healer, unable to heal himself. This paradox is the heart of his myth, and where we find its deepest meaning. Instead of retreating into bitterness or despair, Chiron transformed his suffering into a source of profound empathy. His own pain gave him a unique understanding of the pain of others. He didn't just teach from knowledge, he taught from experience, from a place of deep compassion. He became known as the wounded healer, a powerful archetype that resonates through centuries. His wound didn't diminish him. It made him whole in a different way. It connected him to the suffering of the world and gave his healing arts a depth that no textbook could ever provide. So, What does this ancient myth have to do with senior wellness today? Everything. In our modern culture, we often see aging as a decline. A series of losses, loss of strength, loss of function, loss of relevance. We focus on the wounds of aging. The aches, the illnesses, the slowing down. We're bombarded with messages about fighting aging, reversing it, as if it's an enemy to be conquered. But the myth of Chiron offers a radically different perspective. Chiron teaches us that our wounds, our vulnerabilities, the very things we might perceive as weaknesses, can become our greatest strengths. For seniors, the wounds might be physical ailments, the loss of loved ones, or the feeling of being left behind by a fast-paced world. These experiences, while painful, also carve out a unique capacity for wisdom, empathy, and resilience. Just as Chiron's wound deepened his ability to heal others, the challenges of aging can cultivate a profound understanding of life that younger generations desperately need. Think about it. Who better to guide someone through grief than a person who has known loss? Who better to teach patience than someone who has learned to live with physical limitations? The experiences that come with a long life aren't just a collection of memories. They're a wellspring of wisdom. Seniors are our modern-day Chirons. They have navigated challenges we have yet to face. They have learned lessons from failures and triumphs, and they carry the kind of earned wisdom that can be found in a book or a Google search. This is where the concept of senior wellness needs a paradigm shift. True wellness isn't just about physical health or the absence of disease. It's about holistic well-being, which includes purpose, connection, and a sense of value. When we see seniors only through the lens of their needs or frailties, we do them and ourselves a great disservice. We overlook their immense capacity to contribute, to teach, and to heal. The story of Chiron doesn't end with him living in eternal pain. In a final, selfless act, he chose to give up his immortality to save Prometheus, who was condemned to eternal suffering by the gods. By sacrificing his own life, Chiron found release from his pain and was honored by Zeus, who placed him in the stars as the constellation Centaurus. His legacy was cemented not by his power or knowledge, but by his compassion and his ultimate act of sacrifice. This final chapter of his myth is perhaps the most powerful lesson of all. It reminds us that our greatest legacy lies in what we give to others. For seniors, this can manifest in countless ways. Mentoring young people, sharing life stories, volunteering in the community, or simply being a source of stability and love within a family. These acts of giving are not just beneficial for others. They are profoundly healing for the giver. They affirm purpose and create meaning, which are essential components of well-being at any age, but especially in our later years. So, how can we apply this ancient wisdom in a practical way? First, if you're a senior, I want you to see yourself as Chiron. Your life experiences, your wounds, are not liabilities. They are your superpowers. They have given you a unique perspective and a deep well of empathy. Don't underestimate the value of your story and your presence. Look for opportunities to share your wisdom, whether it's with your grandchildren, a neighbor, or a local youth group. Your guidance is a precious gift. Remember that your purpose doesn't retire when you do. It evolves. And for the rest of us, let's change how we see the seniors in our lives and in our society. Let's stop seeing them as burdens and start recognizing them as beacons. Let's actively seek out their wisdom instead of just asking about their health. Ask them about their lives. Ask for their advice. Listen to their stories. In doing so, we not only honor them, but also enrich our own lives immeasurably. They are living libraries, holding the keys to resilience, perspective, and a life well lived. The myth of Chiron teaches us that aging is not a decline, but a deepening. It's a journey into a different kind of strength, the strength of wisdom, compassion, and profound self. Our seniors are not fading away. They are illuminating the path for the rest of us. They are the keepers of our collective memory and the mentors our world so desperately needs. Let's honor our modern day Chirons. Let us celebrate the wisdom that comes with age and create a culture where every stage of life is valued for its unique gifts. By embracing the lesson of the wounded healer, we can all find a deeper sense of wellness and purpose, no matter our age. Have you ever heard of Chiron? In Greek mythology, he wasn't like the other centaurs. While they were wild and unruly, Chiron was a master of healing, a wise teacher, a mentor to heroes like Achilles and Hercules. But here's the twist. Despite being the greatest healer, Chiron suffered from an incurable wound. A stray, poisoned arrow struck him, leaving him in constant pain. This paradox, the wounded healer, is where our story begins. And it holds a profound lesson for all of us, especially as we navigate the journey of aging. Think about it. As we grow older, we accumulate our own wounds. These aren't necessarily physical injuries, but the scars of life's battles. The loss of loved ones, health challenges, career setbacks. The bittersweet sting of nostalgia. We carry the wisdom gained from these experiences, yet we also carry the pain. This is the essence of the Chiron archetype. Our seniors, our elders, are the Chirons of our society. They are living libraries of experience, filled with knowledge, resilience, and a deep understanding of life's complexities. Yet, they often face their own incurable wounds. The challenges of aging, loneliness, or feeling overlooked. Just as Chiron couldn't heal his own physical wound, he transformed his suffering into a source of profound empathy. His pain gave him a unique ability to understand and heal others. He didn't let his wound define him, he let it refine him. This is the ancient wisdom we can apply to modern senior wellness. Instead of viewing aging as a process of decline, we can see it as a path to becoming a wounded healer. The experiences that have shaped our elders, even the painful ones, are the very source of their greatest strength and wisdom. So, how do we embrace this Chiron energy? It starts with a shift in perspective. For our seniors, it means reframing the narrative of aging. Your life story isn't just a collection of memories. It's a testament to your resilience. Every challenge you've overcome is a lesson you can share. Your wounds are not weaknesses. They are badges of honor that have deepened your capacity for compassion and understanding. You are not defined by what you can no longer do, but by the incredible wisdom you now possess. This is where the concept of mentorship comes in. Chiron was a legendary mentor. Similarly, seniors have an invaluable role to play as mentors to younger generations. Imagine the impact of sharing your life lessons on career, relationships, and perseverance with someone just starting their journey. This isn't just about giving advice. It's about creating a connection, a bridge between generations. Through mentoring, you transform your personal experiences into a powerful tool for healing and guiding others. Your story becomes a beacon, and in lighting the way for someone else, you often find your own path illuminated in new and beautiful ways. The act of teaching and sharing is incredibly empowering. It reaffirms your value and purpose. It combats feelings of irrelevance and isolation that can sometimes creep in with age. When you share your wisdom, you are not just helping others. You are actively engaging in your own wellness. It's a beautiful cycle of giving and receiving, where your past pain is alchemized into present purpose. Think of the skills you've honed over a lifetime: gardening, cooking, financial planning, woodworking, storytelling. These are not just hobbies. They are gifts waiting to be shared. And for those of us who are younger, how do we honor the Chirons in our lives? It begins with listening, truly listening. Not just hearing the words, but seeking the wisdom embedded within the stories of our parents, grandparents, and elderly neighbors. We must create spaces where they feel seen, heard, and valued. Ask them about their lives, their triumphs, their heartbreaks. Ask for their advice. You'll be amazed at the treasure trove of knowledge you uncover. But it goes beyond just listening. It's about integration. How can we integrate the wisdom of our elders into our communities? This could be through intergenerational programs, mentorship opportunities in schools and workplaces, or simply making a conscious effort to include them in our daily lives. We need to move away from a culture that often isolates its elders, and towards one that places them at the heart of the community. Just as Chiron was central to the education of heroes, the myth also teaches us about the importance of community and healing. Chiron, despite his wisdom, eventually sought release from his suffering. It was through the intervention of others, of the gods, that he found peace. This reminds us that no one should have to bear their burdens alone. Community is the bedrock of wellness at any age, but it becomes even more crucial for seniors. This means fostering environments where seniors can connect with peers, share their experiences, and support one another. These communities become spaces where everyone is a wounded healer, sharing, empathy, and understanding born from shared life experiences. These can be formal groups like book clubs or walking groups, or informal networks of friends and neighbors. The key is connection. Technology can be a wonderful bridge here, connecting seniors with family and friends who are far away, but it can never replace the warmth of human-to-human contact. Let's work to build neighborhoods and societies that are not just age-friendly, but integrating. Ultimately, Chiron's wound led him to transcend his mortal suffering and be placed in the stars as the constellation Centaurus. His legacy was not his pain, but his contribution to the world. This is the final, beautiful lesson for us. The aging process, with all its challenges, is also a process of transcendence. It is an opportunity to look beyond our personal wounds and focus on the legacy we want to leave behind. This legacy isn't about wealth or fame. It's about the love we've shared, the wisdom we've imparted, and the lives we've touched. It's about becoming a guiding star for those who come after us. By embracing the role of the wounded healer, seniors can find profound meaning and purpose in their later years. They can transform their personal journey into a universal gift. So let us honor the Chiron within every elder. Let us listen, learn, and uplift. Let's create a culture that celebrates not just the vitality of youth, but the deep, resonant wisdom of age. For in their stories, in their scars, in their incredible resilience, lie the seeds of healing, not just for themselves, but for all of us. Their journey is our journey, and their wisdom is our inheritance. Thank you so much for joining me on this exploration today. If this message resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more content that bridges ancient wisdom with modern life. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Until next time, be well.